Hello YouTube, Scamp the Wolf here, and we are going to be taking a look at my Deftones collection. Now, Deftones is one of my top 5 favorite bands of all time, and as you can see here, I have a ton of Deftones CDs here, so we're going to go through this pretty quickly. I hope I can do this pretty quickly because there's a lot of ground to cover, because, of course, I've acquired a lot of Deftones CDs over the years, and so, yeah, let's begin. First up is their debut album, Adrenaline, and this isn't my favorite Deftones album. It's probably my least favorite, but it's still great. It's set up the Deftones sound, at least, and they haven't made anything that's quite like this in a while. Definitely not since they exploded in popularity and all that stuff. There are still some good songs on here. Bored, Nosebleed, Root, 7 Words, Engine Number 9. There's definitely some good stuff on here, but just so happens to be my least favorite of their CDs because it's not nearly as mature as their other stuff, but it's still good for what it is, I think. Next up is Around the Fur, and this is one of a lot of people's favorites as well. This is a popular album for them. It isn't my favorite, but it's still a good album, and this is when they were starting to become more alternative metal, not just new metal, but like alternative metal, and it's good for what it is. Of course, the singles, My Own Summer, Shove It, and Be Quiet and Drive Far Away, those are pretty good. You also have Rickets, which is a good song, Die the Flu, whatever, Head Up, those are good songs. So yeah. This is their sophomore album, Around the Fur. Pretty good for what it is. This is a live EP they released in 1998. It's kind of collectible. It's kind of rare. But I managed to pick this up on Amazon in 2018. Those are the songs it includes on it. Pretty cool collectible if you're looking to add more Deftones to your collection. You don't have a lot of them. It's their live EP. Next up is White Pony, their most well-known album and referred to as one of their best. Actually, it is referred to as their best. To me, it's my third favorite. Actually, my second favorite. Excuse me. This is the reissue version with Back to School on it. Other good songs on here, you have Digital Bath, Elite, Korea, Passenger, that's my favorite. Change of the House of Flies. Knife Party is my least favorite. Never really cared for that one that much, but it's still pretty good. This album is still good for what it is. Here's the 20th anniversary edition that just came out 2020. Got this just recently, just this month. Whoops. And it has remixes on it, and it doesn't have Back to School on it because the band doesn't really care for that song that much, but you know, it's fine. I mean, it's White Pony. This is the Back to School single. It's just a single. It says Maxi EP on there. You can call it whatever you want, but it's a single. Another collectible. It includes an electronic press kit, which is interesting. Some live stuff, acoustic stuff, all kinds of stuff. If you're looking forward to adding some more Deftones to your collection, get this because it's cool. Because it would be a good addition to your collection for sure. This is their self-titled album from 2003, follow-up to White Pony, and a lot of people don't care for this album, but you know, it's an album I really like, at least. There's tons of great songs on here, though. Like Good Morning Beautiful, Minerva, Bloody Cape is a good one. Hexagram, Needles and Pins, that's good. Those are good. When Girls Telephone Boys, there's tons of good stuff on here. Like, it's one of their heavier albums. Probably that's why they like it. Either that or all the songs kind of sound similar on it, like, which is understandable, but they're very good doing that. I think Deftones is very good at making anything, really. So that's their self-titled album. And for all you Deftones collectors looking to add some B-sides and stuff to your collection, here's their B-sides like compilation. Came out in '05. It's a B-sides album, has a DVD in it. Has some like rarities and all kinds of stuff. Savory is actually a song by the band Far, but it's on here because I think Deftones might have been involved in that. So yeah, that's pretty much that. B-sides and rarities by Deftones. Next up, we have one of their more controversial albums, Saturday Night Wrist. And there's a lot of people that don't really care for this album, probably because Pink's Cell Phone. And yes, that is their worst song, but I mean, there's still some good stuff on here. Riviera, that's a good song, probably my favorite. Rats, Rats, Rats is good. Cherry Waves, Beware, Hole in the Earth, Kim Dracula, Combat. I mean, there's tons of good stuff on here, so. Yes, Pink's Cell Phone isn't that good, but actually it's terrible, but the rest of the album isn't terrible, and you should check it out. Next up is my personal favorite album from the Deftones, Diamond Eyes. This was my first Deftones album ever purchasing and picking up. Great album. Came out 3.5 years after Saturday Night Wrist, and it's great. There's tons of great songs on here. Diamond Eyes, You've Seen the Butcher, that's my favorite Deftones song of all time. Rocket Skate, Risk, 976 Evil, Prince. You have a ton of great stuff on here. Highly recommended. Very good album. I know people say White Ponies is their favorite, but you know, this is my favorite. So if you don't like that, you'll have to deal with it. So there you go. Next up, Koino Yokhan. This is another one of their good albums. I did an unboxing for this one, like when it came out, because I picked this up on opening day, and I was so enthused about this band at the time that like I was excited to hear it and all that. And it is a good album. Like, it is among their best. Of course, you have Swerve City, Romantic Dreams, Leathers, Poltergeist, Graphic Nature, Rosemary, Tempest, Gauze. I'm pretty much gonna say the whole track listing is good on this because, like, it's great. Definitely worth owning. If you're a Deftones fan, definitely get this. Next up is Gore, which is another controversial album because people say it's not as heavy as other Deftones albums, and Stephen Carpenter, the guitarist, even was very distant from this album when it was being recorded and all that. He basically said it was like, oh, I'm the only metal guy in a band that wants to be metal. But, you know, this album is still pretty good for what it is. I like it better than Adrenaline and Saturday Night Wrist, at least, so yeah, that should say a lot. Paris Triangles is good. Doomed User is really good. Hearts Wires, Gore, the title track, Phantom Bride. Definitely. It's definitely a good album. It's not as good as other Deftones albums, but there's nothing wrong with this. Definitely get it if you want to add more Deftones to your collection. Finally, we have their most recent album, Ohms. This was released in 2020, and it's easily one of their best. I know it's awkward to say that a newer release is one of their best, but it truthfully is one of their best, I think. You got some good songs on here: Genesis, Ceremony, Error, Spell of Mathematics, This Link is Dead, Radiant City, title track. Yeah, there's just no going wrong with this. This is easily masterful stuff. Really. My second favorite album of the year, only behind Polaris' album, The Death of Me, which, it's only in second place, but it's still great, so there you go. That's Ohms, and that's the entire Deftones collection. I do have a DVD, Music in High Places, but this is just a CD collection, so that's pretty much what it is, basically. It's just CDs in this. So, see you later. This is Scamp 4 5. This is Scamp the Wolf signing out. Take care.